Well, that boss got folded. Alright, so let's talk about what's going on here. So first things first, you'll notice our stats are very much so evenly. If I could have this at 100 super, that'd be nice, but I do have a font to compensate for my lack of 5 extra super stat. It's all good. You'll notice that for, the first time in a minute, we're actually not on Vogue armor. We are on the Exodus Down set, which is actually the Nessus armor bonus. This is really good if you are in any high-end content, as for the 4-piece set, whenever you gain, lose, or spend an armor charge, you heal and you gain damage reduction for a short time. So in some of the gameplay, you'll see that I'm doing ultimate difficulty solo with this setup. The armor set is really helping you stay alive in those scenarios, all right? Now, for the actual weapons, generally you just have your kinetic slot weapon to deal with barriers, as the auto rifle and or the SMG's overload. We're spamming ignitions, which will be the unstop. So you just need something for barriers. New Land Beyond has intrinsic anti-barrier, and it one pops them. Even on ultimate difficulty, can still one pop stun the barrier shields. That's the only reason why I'm here. It's one of my favorite snipers. Now let's actually talk about what's going on here. Okay, so first things first, I have a little test dummy example set up ready to go, and I just want to give you all a brief demonstration as to how kind of fun and insane this can really get. So first things first, we'll do this. We will then do this, and then you'll see the ignitions, they just kind of go off on their own, right? And then obviously you have your Helion, we have our snap, and we do have our auto rifle to help generate some extra ignitions. Now, I did load in here on ultimate difficulty, but whatever. They kind of folded a little bit quicker because they didn't have skulls above their head. Regardless, what's going on here is two things. Solar Fulmination and then Ember of Char. This is the combo. Whenever we ignite, we spread Scorch stacks. We also have Ember of Ashes, must have Fragment. Helion applies more Scorch. And then we have Dawn Chorus. Dawn Chorus is going to allow us to build back our melee, our Incinerator Snap, whenever we deal damage with Scorch or ignitions. That is going to help us get back our Incinerator Snap to help keep the loop going. And I believe Ember of Char spreads 60, give or take, Scorch stacks whenever it procs. You need 100 to do an ignition, and we have Helion, and we have our auto rifle with Burning Ambition. Both weapons, by the way, they have the same role with Attrition Orbs and Burning Ambition. I know, I generally don't use this perk hardly ever, but I'm talking about it now. It's niche, but it works perfectly for this, especially in the higher level of content you are in. The more valuable your Burning Ambition is going to be for this setup to just keep chaining those ignitions over and over and over again. And yes, that is why we have Daybreak. Dawn Chorus loves to work with Daybreak. Whenever we throw our Daybreak projectile or sword, it will do an automatic ignition to help just nuke out a room and just keep the chain of ignitions. The tighter the enemies are, the better this build will perform. And in higher content in which you're under leveled in, since you have more work to do, since to actually down one of the enemies, you'll see the ignition chaining go off a lot more often and be very valuable there. Whereas in lower end content, it's still very good, don't get me wrong. But a lot of things kind of just fold over anyways. Now to go further back into the subclass, I just have Ikdash to help just with the movement, because Helion's the main fragment or aspect that you really want in here, just to really help get some extra Scorch stacks ticking. Healing Grenade and Healing Rift for survivability. You want the Incinerator Snap with this setup specifically, because an Incinerator Snap can give you an on-demand ignition. This whole setup is designed and focused around ignitions, chaining off of each other, going booms, creating all the booms, and keep doing booms. Other things worth mentioning in the fragment slot is Ember of Singeing to help get your Healing Rift back. We're going to be doing a lot of Scorch, so having Singeing will help get our Rift back as quick as possible. The Rift is very part of the survivability kit. And then the other little combo that we have is Searing and Mercy. We're going to be creating a lot of fire sprites, and Mercy will allow those fire sprites to give us resto, help just have a little bit more sustainability. Now, something else that I do want to mention is if you really want to take the tankiness of this type of setup to the next level, especially if you are doing any like solo Grandmaster, solo ultimate activity with this build, I would highly recommend that you put on targeting autoloader and sustain fire. This is going to give you damage resistance with your auto rifle, just by shooting it, and this will allow you, targeting autoloader will allow you to auto load it and reload it without as much consistent issues. Just sustain fire to proc burning ambition more often and give you some DR is very, very valuable. That is why we have the no hesitation here, just because it is an auto rifle that you can craft that has both the perks that we want in burning ambition and attrition orbs. I made this one literally today for this specific setup. I really like Yeartide for this as well, but since we're already in the Hunter's Journal artifact for Solar Fulmination, we might as well double dip and get sustained fire targeting autoloader. So put on an auto rifle, it just kind of fits in there even better than the Yeartide SMG does. So if you don't have the pattern for the no hesitation for this setup, I would highly recommend getting it, although you can totally make do with just a Yeartide with those same perks. Now for mods on the armor, they're once again not really all that important. We just have a bunch of quality of life-esque mods. We do have a weapons font just to have, a little bit extra weapon stat, never hurt nobody. A little bit of class font, never hurt nobody for this setup. It does kind of help, even though we are over 100. Having a little bit of an overshield when we cast our rift is actually a bit nicer than you would think, especially in content in which we are underleveled in. And you just really want to hit 100 in everything except for health, which is pretty darn manageable with tier 5 armor. You just get some decent rolls on a few pieces, and then you kind of just invest into the stat that's lacking, and then you can put fonts on for other ones that require you to do so. Another reason why attrition orbs is so valuable. Plus, with the Exodus down set, it really does work well with each other. Whenever our shields get broken, we will automatically pick up all nearby orbs of power and ammo bricks, which will proc the 4-piece bonus. And low-key, if you want to put on like Special Finny or something else to use your armor charge, feel free. But this is just a setup that I found to be really nice, the one that I like to be using. And then other important stuff that you could use in the Hunter's Journal would be something like Elemental Siphon. Energy Diffusion is also pretty good for just a free extra DR. But Solar Fulmination is the most important thing in here by far. Also, Radiant Orbs isn't bad as well, just for an extra source of Radiant. And then Counter Energy is good in content in which you are going up against champs, as whenever we or a member of our fire team stuns a champ, we're going to gain a little bit of energy for our leash charged ability. Just help keep the loot going and rocking. As long as you have a Helion up or a Incinerator Snap ready to go, you always have the ability just to chain a loop of big time ignitions. Overall, a very fun setup, especially for any ad clearing area in which there's a lot of condensed enemies, especially if they are healthier and you are in content in which you are underleveled in. This is where this build will shine the brightest, because on content that you're just on level with, you're going to nuke everything pretty easily anyways. So if you are trying to take a build into some harder end content, this would be the Warlock build I would recommend to you. Solar, not even prismatic. Exodus down 4-piece armor set for some extra DR survivability. Burning Ambition attrition orbs on your energy slot weapon. Ideally, you do want the auto rifle just to make use of sustained fire and targeting autoloader, since we are in the Hunter's Journal. Solar Fulmination, Ember of Char, Dawn Chorus are the core aspects of this setup. Helion just helps, but overall really fun. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this, and enjoy the rest of the gameplay clips. And have fun creating all of the booms, my friend. Ah, my character's stuck in a wall. He's gonna mog me. But I'm scarier. Just ignite. I don't know how I killed that guy. If they get closer in range, I can deal with them with the ignition chaining. Unless he just teleports up. Okay, and what? Oh, hello, enemies. I didn't know we were playing the game today. Oh, last I checked, you hurt. if I can get him stun locked like that with my Helion, I'm chilling. The door's open, eh? See ya. It's a lot better when there's enemies for me to actually chain the ignitions off of. You have more health than I thought. Oh. He just kept permanently got stun locked. He was like, oh, my big health bar, and then lost it. See how they keep igniting each other? It's because they're ugly and stupid. See? Told you. I win.